What's up? Welcome back. We got another GamerViCE episode for you, ladies and gentlemen. We hope you've been enjoying the videos. We've been trying to get consistent again. You know, the fall's big for games and everything like that. So we got to bring the videos. We got to bring you the advice you need when it comes to the gaming world. Kevin, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good, man. I'm happy that we're being as consistent as we are. Like you said, there's a lot of games, especially in the month of October. It feels like every week has had some big title release, and I'm excited to talk about it. I'm excited to talk about what we're about to talk about today.
Yes.
Today, speaking of big title releases, over the past week, SpiderMan 2 was released. Big reviews. Obviously, I don't think it's a surprise to anybody that Spider-Man 2 has had a whole bunch of 9s and 10s as far as, you know, the reviews go. I haven't seen too much of that game as far as like gameplay. I've been trying to keep away from it because, you know, in the off chance that I may play it sometime soon, I don't want to like spoil like the story mode. That's one of the things that sucks about like single player story games is like you don't really want to watch the gameplay because it kind of ruins the story for you.
I don't want to read too much into the reviews. I don't want to watch it because I plan on getting that right now. So you know what, like, so we can only give so much. We can give our opinion on it, and you guys watching can let us know your thoughts and if you've played the game.
Exactly. But the one thing that I have heard, the chatter that I've heard so far about the game is that it's actually a pretty short game as far as like completing it goes. Have you heard the same thing?
I was hearing that, and then I did some digging, and it's funny now. IGN actually, you know how it is. They get review copies. They must have had 5 guys go and play it, and they kind of just said like, okay, the guy who finished it the fastest, it was 18 hours. The guy who took the longest, it was 25 hours. So I feel like that's a little bit of a sweet spot because I know a lot of times we want like, we want a game to be great. We want it, like give me that nice 30, 35 hour story. But I'm starting to realize, like, at least me personally, it's like that's something we asked for, but like that shit kind of long. Sometimes you find yourself, it takes a while. Like if I think back to Red Dead, it takes, you know, like 35 or 40 hours. That, like, I was going through it, and if we remember back when I was streaming about 2 years ago, when did it come out? Actually, it came out in 2020, right? Assassin's Creed Valhalla, that game was never ending, and I was playing a lot. And then when you still go look at it, it's like, 50 hours or something. It's like, dang. Like, and I wasn't just rushing the main story, so obviously I know if I go through the main story, that's another thing, man. You gotta play the game the way you enjoy it. Like, so it's like, what are those guys just doing main stories mainly and just kind of going through it that way? But I was curious, and to go back to, it's like that's kind of short. I think it's a little shorter, but like I guess what we want to compare it to is the original Spider-Man, because everyone knows now, and I will tell you this one, Miles Morales caught me off guard on how short it was. Like, as I actually started playing that, and I like beat it in a weekend in like 2 game sessions of like 5 hours each. Like it was like a 10-hour game. It was like boom, boom. It actually felt short. So that wasn't cool, but it was nice because everyone wanted to get some Insomniac Spider-Man again. So the first game, though, according to how long to beat, it's somewhere still between that 25, 27 hour range. So this one technically maybe it's not too far off it. And then it was talking about completionists, like you can only do so much in these games. It was like 35, I think, hours in the first one.
Okay.
So that 20, let's just say it's 22 hours to complete this one. We still don't know about the completionist part. I mean, it looks like we might be losing out, you know, anywhere between 5 to 10 hours. So I guess it's a little disheartening, but I don't think it's the end of the world. It definitely has to be longer than Miles Morales Spider-Man, though, and it has to have some depth to it. And I hope it's a good story. I don't want to spoil the story too much.
Yeah, but also I understand it's a weird metric, though, right? Because if I told you, okay, Spider-Man 2, it'll take you 50 hours to complete.
Yeah.
But 50 hours is a fucking grind. You don't want to play that game. You'd rather it be smooth, like a smooth progression through the game, and then it's like, you know, anywhere between 20 and 30 hours, rather than 50 or 40 plus hours, but it's a grind. Nobody wants to feel like they're just being cheated at a time because they're making you grind for levels or like stupid manhunts for items or something like that. Things that games do.
Almost, almost like Starfield, where I feel like they were so worried about giving people so many planets, but we talked about it, bro. If they just handcrafted 50 planets and went in, that would still feel like a lot, bro. Because I'm bouncing around from there are so many pointless planets, right? It's like you didn't even need to do that, and you waste a lot of time moving, jumping in, like a lot of so it's like now that's getting built into my time to beat, but it's like how much of that was like travel time of just walking and doing nothing? Like it's actually kind of crazy. This game, I mean, knowing I've played the first one, and it's like you can traversal in this game's amazing. That's the one really fun thing to do is swing your way around the city. You know what I mean? But it is always a very weird topic when it comes to a game, because you try to put hours put into the game versus the cost you played to the value. But I don't know, man, when it's always said and done, if you enjoy a game and you liked it, I think you can be okay with your purchase.
Right. And that always goes back to how other people review and see the game compared to how you will see and review the game, in your head or whatever. Don't just go off of what other people say. Interestingly enough, now we have Starfield, we have Spider-Man 2, and we have the Super Mario game that's coming out. I think
Super Mario Wonder.
I don't know if it just came out or it's about to come out. I can't remember.
It's coming out same time with Spider-Man. November.
Okay, so it's 20
tomorrow as of the recording. Yep.
Right. So the reviews are out for Spider-Man 2, but they come out tomorrow. Those are funny enough. Those are 3 high-profile AAA games for each different console. And now, if you had to
Super
pick
Mario Bros. I'm sorry, I just had to go to Metacritic while we in here, dog. This thing's at an 82 reviewers, sitting at a 93 right now.
93. Okay, last time I checked, it was 94. But
okay.
But yeah, so I mean, these are kind of game of the year candidates. Obviously, we haven't played 2 of them because they come out tomorrow as of this recording. But if you had to guess, and I know that's hard because, like I said, I know that's hard. But if you had to guess, is there anyone that sticks out in your mind that says, okay, this is probably gonna win more than the other ones?
Of these 2 right now?
Of the three. Of Starfield, Spider-Man 2, and then Super Mario.
You can't. I mean, I'm sorry to say, I don't think Starfield's in this conversation of these 3. Based off of how I feel like these people or whoever it is that actually is involved with Game of the Year now and how Starfield was kind of received through reviews, I don't think it's gonna hit that like lump, like that hill. It's gonna go over that hill. So you got Super Mario Bros. And Spider-Man, and I just feel though, like I don't think we're talking about how what we did in our previous episode, but like we haven't had a platform, the OG Super Mario game in how many years was it? We talked about it in that one episode.
I think it's like 2011.
And that one is, I feel like that's gonna like a sneaky hit because we don't play Nintendo as much. We don't talk about it, so like it's clearly in the people that are involved with Nintendo. They probably hear about this stuff all the time. But to me, that's just like a sneaky one that's gonna come up, and I think that Super Mario Brother can shock a lot of people. And I think it might have the edge over Spider-Man because we still, like, Spider-Man is still in its same world. You know, we've played with the 2 characters already. Now we just have both of them in the one game. It's a sequel. I just don't, like, I think the edge goes to Super Mario if it's these 2 duking it out for Game of the Year. Mm-hmm. But it's 2 so different games, and it's not because I don't know, like if you ask me which one I would probably enjoy more, I would probably enjoy Spider-Man more 100% because I'm not a big Super Mario like player in those. Like I mentioned before, I really haven't even played any original platformer Super Marios like that for over 2 hours in my lifetime.
So let's get the fanboys mad and rank them as where you think they would be in Game of the Year candidate or Game of the Year candidate. And I'll do the same.
Rank those 3?
I rank those 3, yeah.
Like, is Super Mario Bros.
Okay.
Spider-Man, Starfield.
Okay. Wait,
Your
okay.
thoughts?
So my thoughts on. I mean, hey, listen, that's your opinion. You know, who am I to judge you? That's a horrible way of putting them, but that's fine. No, I'm kidding. But I think Super Mario. I actually do agree. Super Mario is probably higher. I wanna my my gut or my feeling is that Starfield at the very least is a new IP and it's a fresh
You're
take
right.
on
Yeah.
you know that the Bethesda DNA that they have in role playing games. So for me, it would be Super Mario, Starfield, and then Spider-Man. And it's not because like I said, it's not necessarily because I think Spider-Man is worse than Starfield or
Yeah.
better than Star. It's just because Spider-Man, it really is kind of the same exact formula as the other two.
Exactly.
You know,
And like we said, people, we're arguing de facto game of the year. So
Right.
all three of these games are good games. Like we're not arguing, things like that. But
gotta keep PG.
we talk about these three
Yeah.
just because let's go back to it. Who do we think wins game of the year, though, of all the big daddies that came out this year? How many
Well,
nominees? How many games can get nominated? Is it 6 or 5?
It's right around there. I don't remember exactly the number, but
Because boy, there's still some other games. These guys.
I mean, honestly, it's funny I forgot about it, but again, it's because like you said that we don't really play Nintendo games like that. But it's crazy to think this. I forgot that The Legend of Zelda came out back in May.
And guess what came out in February?
Metroid Prime.
Yes. So, and those games, those are apparently bangers. So, that's a tough one. We know we have Baldur's Gate, who's going to maybe make a surprise appearance.
I think that's sleeper. I think that's a sleeper candidate. I don't think it wins, but it's a sleeper candidate.
And a sleeper candidate that came out very early in the year, kind of like a Metroid Prime, because it is brand new. I mean, it's not a new. I don't know if you say new IP because the world of it has existed forever, but we haven't had a game, and it's just this is where it's like, well, how much does the forgetfulness play into this? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Harry freaking Potter.
Oh yeah.
Was something different, bro.
That's true.
It was different.
Yeah.
That I don't know if we could just let that one slip out. Like it might have to sneak its way in now, at least for to be nominated. Like I don't know, man. Harry Potter, that game is different. Like it was, and it hits with a lot of people. It resonates because of the Harry Potter name, and people have been dying for a game like that. So I think Harry Potter is got a stake in the game.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I think it's the three that we mentioned: Tears of the Kingdom. If it's 6,
Yeah.
The three that I mentioned: Tears of the Kingdom, Harry Potter, and then Baldur's Gate. Those are my 6 that I would say.
And you leave Metroid out.
I did leave Metroid out. I know it's tough.
Uh-huh.
It's tough. Mm-hmm. But honestly, and it's not to shit on Metroid, but out of Nintendo IPs, I feel like the Zelda IP and the Mario IP is
something. Yeah.
Is those are the highest of the Nintendo IPs that they got, and the Metroid Pride's right there. I don't know. It's tough. You're right. Oof, that would be, and I don't even know when you add the other 3 in there. I don't even know who you pick.
Yeah, it's crazy. So I mean, based on this portion of the episode, ladies and gentlemen, you guys let us know your thoughts. I know you go in there and bash it. Are you kidding me with those? Oh, you forgot so-and-so game? Go ahead. Drop it. What did we forget? What do you think's gonna win game of the year?
Yeah.
Get all that chatter going in there, for sure. And yeah, that's where we're gonna leave that game of the year chatter. We're gonna keep slowly revisiting that game of the year chatter because we're right around the corner from that. Maybe a month or two, So that's gonna be fun. That is going to be fun. Now, one little rumor before we move on to another topic, but kind of going along with Sony and Spider-Man here. There is a rumor that the PS Slim, that's supposed to be a full terabyte of space instead of the 825 gigabytes available that you get with a PS5 digital and non-digital right now. The PS5 Slim is supposed to drop in a bundled edition for $559 with Spider-Man 2. How do you feel about that?
I mean,
That's a rumor. November 8th. You know the holidays here, so clearly, I think it has to drop before the holidays, or else they're gonna really hurt themselves.
yeah. I mean, I don't know. I have mixed feelings because I've read a couple things about the PS Slim, and I've heard that it's not really that slim. Like it's a weird.
Mm-hmm.
It's just weird in that sense that they're calling it that, but it's not necessarily. And then on top of it, it's because they took out, the drive out of it, and then I don't know. I've never been personally. I've never been one where I'm looking for a new console when it's that time of year. When it's that time, I should say, when I'm looking for a new console, a bundle doesn't sway me. It never has. It's not like, oh, now I get it because it's bundled.
Yeah, no. I guess the thing is, it's like, yeah, how do you not sell that game along with it?
Yeah,
because it's like, yeah, it just came out. It's our biggest exclusive game right now. So you bundle it, and maybe someone gets the PS5 for the first time because of it. But I don't see any reason for a PS5 owner to upgrade. Number one,
right.
That's just, I don't know what the sell is for this thing, but that's just my 2 cents. Unless you still have a PS4 and you don't have a PS5 and you don't have a PS and you want to get a PS5, like new gamers, young gamers, Christmas coming, Santa Claus getting those gifts out for everybody. But there's no need to buy a PS Slim if you already have a PS5. 100%. That's how I feel on it.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah. Now, something that we haven't really talked about in a long time, something that I haven't done in a long time. I don't know where this live streaming world is going, but we were hit with some news this week. Kevin, you want to let the people know what that news is?
Sure. So we've actually got hit with a couple news. I think one is more of a not official. It's unofficial until, someone clarifies. But so the two things is DrDisrespect looks like he has signed with YouTube Gaming. So he has
complete speculation here, ladies and gentlemen.
Complete speculation. That's the unofficial one, just based off of his tweet where he's like, finally,
firm handshakes.
Handshakes, yeah. So
because YouTube Gaming finally followed him.
Exactly. And that's, you know what? He's one of the biggest streamers, and he's been grinding it out for so long. And he had that mess with Twitch where he ended up leaving, or got banned rather, and then he went to YouTube. So to see this for him is like he said, finally, the man deserves it, because this guy just, like I said, he fucking grinds. He's streaming so much.
Yeah, he's got the 10th most hours watch for the month of September.
Yeah,
on YouTube Gaming. Yeah.
And I think out of English speaking or US streamers, he's like second. Yeah. I think the only other person is iShowSpeed, which
and that's under YouTube Gaming, but iShowSpeed is not really gaming. I feel like that's just more
chatting or whatever.
What's the category? Just chatting. Just chatting type deal. It's like a show.
So that's the first bit of news, and then the second one, as if that wasn't enough, is NickMercs has, I guess, his contract with Twitch was over. He signs with Kick, and Kick is
that's a big one.
Kick in the past 6 months has been killing it with signage and just people moving over, and they're just doing so much, and good for them. I mean, they have their controversies too, but just like any other platform. But it's not the couple people that make the platform. It's the group in its entirety. So, good for him. I like to see the competitive nature of streaming. I always, even though we don't really talk about it that much, you and Logan had streamed back a couple years back now when you guys were really into it, and I have always kind of still kept my, my ear, or whatever you want to call it, out and listen to what streamers are doing, the streamer news and things like that. I've always looked into that stuff. So it's cool to see that these two guys switching it up. Like I said, hopefully the Dr. Disrespect thing is legit. What are your thoughts on? I know you don't quite focus on streaming so much anymore, or watch it as much anymore. But
Yeah.
what are your
It's
thoughts on all
tough,
this
man.
stuff?
I know.
Yeah. Oh no.
So I definitely like, I mean, we can all know the first thing. What's funny is, if those of you background, it's like, I definitely got into streaming 2016, 17, would stream, to 2018, 2019. Started to fall off end of 2019 into the beginning of 2020. And then when everyone and their moms live streaming blew up, was the COVID thing, because everyone was home.
Right.
Computers were impossible. Computer parts were hiked up 300%. Like, I already had a setup. It was luckily like that's when I even had another kick of going back at it. And from 2020 through like 2021, definitely streamed a lot more. Then I tailed off right when I was starting to prepare for my wedding, and I really haven't got back into it. But yeah, I definitely still keep. I look around here and there streaming, and that's why I'm saying I always wonder. It's like I felt like, streaming so big, it's big, it's growing, it's growing. But the minute I stopped doing things, I'm like, is it even that big? But it's like, no, it is that big. Numbers are still, doing well. But I'm still trying to figure out now. Like, I'm curious, like in my head, just trying to figure out patterns with the world and trends that get big and then don't, and what's sustainable, and like the whole kick with TikTok live, Instagram live too, like little dumb stuff like that. Like it's growing, it's so big, but like, are we gonna hit a wall with this, or is as a world we're gonna become so like in and not socialized as much with the world? Like, I'm trying to figure this out. Like, if there's ever a cycle where the history repeats itself, where it's like at some point something's gonna go bad, where this shit just crashes, or it's only going to continue to grow numbers wise. And then I guess the big thing is between Twitch, YouTube, and Kick, like we always talk, it's like, is one of these going to die? Is one of them gonna keep growing, surpass, Twitch, the big one? So I'm looking at Kick's numbers here. The one thing, like for September, and it's based off of what they did in August, it was like at least they're up 3%, in hours watched, 129% in peak viewers. That one's not too much, doesn't mean anything. I feel like the peak viewers is because they did one big event, I guess, in the month.
Right.
And then the average viewers though is up 6%. So that's good. Average viewers, hours watches, at least it's still in the green, going up from month to month basis. We'll see what October did when the month is over compared to September. But like, that's what I always find a little interesting. YouTube is a little harder to see those numbers because it'll start being in the 4 millions with average viewers, because you don't know if it's just the hours watched on YouTube is 3 billion. So like, we can't even do that. But it says when it comes to YouTube gaming, I guess categories, there's 418 million hours in the month of September, which is wild.
Yeah. That's insane.
I still definitely think there's a place for, I'm just trying to think like, is this a sustainable thing for a majority of people? Like, obviously, when it comes to like a career job that people make their livelihood off of it, like, do you see, or like the streaming end for the majority 10, 15 years from now, or no? Like, or do you just think it's just going to keep growing?
It really depends, because what Kick is trying to do is trying to make that a viable option for you to be full-time doing it. Like, they have
literally by just paying you.
Yeah, they have the Kick Creator Program, and I believe they're doing it by paying people hourly, similar to an actual job. Now, Kick has its controversies because it's backed by Stake, which is a gambling site, and it's not just that it's a gambling site. It's a gambling site that I believe is based, like, geographically, it's based in a place that doesn't really regulate their gambling. That's why it got banned off of Twitch. It's not that it's just a gambling site. It's like, it's non-regulated gambling site. That's the understanding that I got. So when you look at Kick and they're doing all these great things, it's like one of the counterpoints to that is, well, that's because they have the money, because they're just getting it from the gambling site, and they're just trying to funnel people to gamble they're just funneling people to get addicted to gambling, which gives them money. Like that's the whole argument. And listen,
So yeah,
I mean, I like watching stuff on Kick. Number one, there are no ads, which is insane. There are no ads, and the chat interface and like that whole user interface is super similar to Twitch. So if you're familiar with watching stuff on Twitch, you go over to Kick, you feel right at home. And then on top of that, it's like their money payout is also a 95-5 split. So the creator gets 95%. So when you subscribe, you feel like your money actually goes to the creator.
Yeah.
But to your point, does YouTube feel like Kick is going to have enough longevity where it's like, okay, maybe we should look into doing some of the things that they're doing, because if not, we're going to get left behind? I don't think so. I don't think so. I think if any of them fall out, if any of them end up being nothing in the next 10 years, as of right now, it's probably still going to be Kick, because it never makes sense to me how they sustain money. Like, how are they making a profit? They don't have any ads. They're only taking 5%.
Yeah.
How are they making a profit? So,
but that's like one of those things too, where everyone's like, "Ooh, they're getting everybody," and then it's like they have everyone, and then they're gonna start. Is when they change the policy, and then they're the bad guy too. They're like, "Oh, come to Twitch, like we got him," but it's like, "Yo, were you really good this whole time?" No. See, now you're doing the bullshit, and you're just trying to steal people. Yeah. And I guess my big point, streaming is a hard way to put it. I guess what I mean is back in 2017 when it was talking about live streaming and you live stream, because I would say the majority was gaming.
Yeah.
Now, this is what I mean by, I guess, the gaming live streaming is what I guess I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Because when you go and look at September for Kick, based on hours watched, Just Chatting has 36.62 million. 36.62 million. In second is Slots and Casino, so the gambling, 17.79. That right there is more than half of that whole 106, what was it, 106,000?
106 million, yeah.
106 million, I mean. So that's, basically half of the viewership. The most gaming is Grand Theft Auto, and that comes to the RP roleplayed. Grand Theft Auto 5 at 8.62 million. And I guess that's where and look, special events was 4.2. So if you throw that with the other stuff, whatever special events mean, other watch parties 2.6. That was so in those 5 hours, in the top 5 of hours watched, Grand Theft Auto sits at 3, and then the rest are all non-gaming related. I guess because what is this GamerVice? We talk, gaming and live streaming content. I guess that's where I was actually trying to go with that conversation in my head. It's like the live streaming and gaming side of it. Or now is it just people basically creating actual content, whatever, which is fine. Like these guys hosting their own shows in their houses, like, I Show Speed and you got Kai and like things like that like just putting on their own entertainment, basically. Or is it actually have to do with gaming? And I just feel like, gaming is not really, it's just such a little piece of the pie now. I guess that's the biggest, that would be the biggest thing outside of the big streamers, the real big streamers.
Yeah, you're right. Just Chatting is huge, and I think it's only going to get bigger. And gaming, you know what it is? And I think about it, and if we're being honest, really honest, and you just think about, I'm sure you have people or you've known people who are streamers, and it's not to say that this falls, they fall into this category or that you fell into this category, but it's very tough, I feel like, to be focused in a game and be entertaining enough for someone to say, oh, let me watch them instead of just watch gameplay. The big thing is the
communication. The big thing is entertaining, because if you're just and that's why I'm saying I don't even think actual game streaming is that big anyway. It was big for a while. That's how it started, the Ninja days, you know what I mean? Like back then, like that's what, let's watch people, and they're talking to us. But it's turned into, rightfully so, entertainment now, and you're really actually trying to, it's how you are with your audience. You might, depending on your content, like, what you're doing, if you are doing actually specializing something in the game and really not even playing it, you're more doing something in the game to be funny for entertainment purposes, and you're not really even playing the game the way it's meant to be played, things like that. You know what I mean? Like something stupid. It's like the thing that just comes to the top of my head It's like Call of Duty Warzone. Like when the one guy was making his clips, but he wasn't really trying to win games. He was going around being a taxi, like driving around people. Like,
yeah.
like that's just like some, but like that's what I mean. Which great cut. Like, yeah, that's funny. Like, cause then I'll watch that because you're right. Like, why do I really care? What's funny is like exactly I'm streaming, but I'm just not a big person on. I'm actually gonna sit there too long and watch someone actually just play, unless it's like a pro league. Obviously, we're talking about like the competitive teams playing. Like, I can only watch so much because guess what? That time that I'm watching, I want to be playing. Sorry. Like the only time I'm really watching is like if I'm pulling it up on my phone. Like if I'm sitting at my computer and it's my actual free time, it's going to be very hard for me to actually, because like, yo, now I got some free time. I'm going to play. So realistically, it's more like a little getaway when you're at work or you get a break. Like, ooh, like, you know, like you get a lunch break or something. Like pull that up.
Yeah. And that's the times that I sit there and watch people stream, are the people who, when I went into their stream, they were talking about something interesting. Their personalities seemed interesting to me. I may have said something, they replied something funny or something interesting. Like I said, like something that made me think. And I went, oh, okay, you know what? We have some commonalities here. Let me subscribe. Let me follow them so that way I know when they're live again, and then we could talk again, something. But
yeah,
when they're playing, if it's just playing 9 times out of 10, I don't care. I know for a fact there are streamers that I follow that when they're just chatting or when they're doing their like half an hour, 45 minutes before they actually start their game and they're just chatting with the people in their stream, that's more interesting to me than to watch them play.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. So like, it's nuts. There's so many different viewpoints on this. So like, go ahead, you guys watching in on the conversation right now. Join the conversation in the comments. Let us know your thoughts on streaming, the 3 big platforms, you know, the Twitch, YouTube, Kick. What do you think one of them's going to disappear? Do you think one's going to take one over? Things like that. But definitely a fun topic. We discussed today SpiderMan, streaming, game of the year, all that good stuff. You guys talk about it in the chat. Like the video. Share with your friends. Kevin, any closing remarks, man?
Game of the year prediction. Did we even give a game of the year prediction? Like actual with the 6? I'm gonna say,
like, who do you think's gonna win?
Who's gonna win it all? If it's not those 3,
no, we didn't say who do we think's gonna win it all.
All right, let's end this episode with who do you think's gonna win it all. I will start first. I'm going to say sleeper Baldur's Gate.
Okay. I'm not sleeping on nothing because I'm wide awake. Let's go with Zelda is taking home the crown. I think Zelda. I don't know how Zelda don't walk away with this. According to this, how it did numbers wise, I do want to play the game, man. But according to how it did, I don't know. I don't see how it don't win. But Baldur's Gate's doing something special. I would love, actually, out of all those though, I would love for Baldur's Gate, the small guy, the small developer, to win Game of the Year. That's always the better story because these big AAA boys been playing the consumers. Anyways, that's your episode for today, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in. We will catch you in the next one. But as always, GamerVice giving you all the vice you need. Catch you in the next one. Peace.